They gon' need the cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will still Chamberlain. Even Damien and Satan is afraid of him.
And they was talking all that hot ish. When the prophets ain't apostles here, the gospel is the gossip. I'm a science project, try and pocket this rhyming process. Watch us, information, going through lines. Fiber optics, this is Miley Cyrus in her freak phase. The naked truth, don't be Ray Caruth in a trunk pump. Just take the truth, shit. Daisy Dukes at a night show. I raid your room.
Peace, families. Welcome to another episode Underground Railroad Productions. This is your host, Brother Rich, back once again with the living legend himself, Professor Griff. Welcome back, brother.
Good, thanks, Brother Rich. It's always a pleasure to be back, man. I'm glad that you're doing fine, man. We don't connect as frequently as often as we used to, but it's part of life, man. I'm sure you realize that.
Indeed, man. Ain't nothing like a Griff and Rich show, so I know the people gonna appreciate the show once they hear it, man. But we're gonna have a good conversation today, Professor Griff. Something that is in the forefront of things that Black America need to pay attention to. That is ownership, Black business, production, being a producer instead of a consumer. And what made me think about having the show with you, one of the most visible businessmen that we see on television, Sean P. Diddy Combs, recently did an interview with Variety magazine in which he discussed a lot of the things that we have heard Black America discussing recently. So I said, I gotta talk to Griff. I've been hearing this word venture capitalist thrown around lately, and just been hearing a lot of things streaming, and we got the Netflix with what they doing, and the big boys that they're joining forces. They just made a merger a couple of weeks ago, Disney and some of the other people. So a lot of things are going on in the business world, and I just don't want our culture to get left behind with everything that's going on. So it's time to talk about it. Let me get right into this article. This is Variety magazine. The article's by Andrew Barker. Let me read a little bit of this for you, Professor Griff, and family out there. At 48, I'm gonna just skip to the main part that I want to read. The article's longer though. At 48, Combs, who for 2 decades has been one of Black America's most visible and successful business figures and has been dubbed the richest musician for several years running, is trying to take stock of what his accomplishments mean and what the culture that enables success still has to overcome. You have these record companies, this is Diddy talking, you have these record companies that are making so much money off our culture, our art form, but they're not investing or believing in us. For all the billions of dollars that these Black executives have been able to make them, there's still hesitation to put them in top level positions. They'll go and they'll recruit cats from overseas. It makes sense to give executives of color a chance and embrace the evolution instead of it being that we could only make it to president, senior VP. There's no Black CEO of a major record company. That's just as bad as the fact that there are no Black majority owners in the NFL. That's what really motivates me. Black Panther was a cruel experiment because we live in 2018 and it's the first time that the film industry gave us a fair playing field on a worldwide blockbuster in the hundreds of millions it takes to make it. We only get 5% of the venture capital invested in things that are Black owned. Black-owned businesses, Black-owned ideas, Black-owned IP. You can't do anything without that money, without resources. But when we do get the resources, we over-deliver. When Adidas invests in Kanye and it's done properly, you have the right results. When Live Nation invests in artists and put them in arenas the same way you too would be, you have the right results. Black Panther, Blackish, fashion, it's all about access. If you're blocked out of the resources, you can't compete. And that's my whole thing, to be able to come and compete. And it goes on. I'm going to end it there, family, because that's pretty much, I want to focus on that right there. And to start out with Griff, before I get into the questions, Professor, please let me know what you think about this article and the sentiments expressed by Sean Combs.
Well, Brother Rich, when I read the article, Very interesting article, by the way. When I read the article, I noticed the fact that when they talk about culture, they don't go too much in depth on the whole idea of how we view culture. A lot of people, i.e. chefs, restaurants, and these kind of people coming from overseas are able to come to America and make money off of and via their culture, i.e. Italian restaurants flourish in America. Not only with Italian Americans, but with a lot of them. Mexican restaurants, Irish soccer and football and baseball and all the things that Irish people bring to America. They're able to turn around and make money via the culture. So when you start to say, okay, well, what is black culture? And you define and redefine black culture, then you can say, okay, how is it that we can make money off of our own culture? Well, if our culture has been robbed from us and other people are now able to come and recognize the value in black culture and then seize the time, so to speak, then they're actually making money off of black culture by redefining black culture. So when you look at the magazine and you see P. Diddy on the cover of the magazine, which in this case, I admire what the brother actually had to say in the particular article. But when he talks about he's a cultural warrior, how are you advancing the culture to the point where not recognizing the fact that you were one of the ones that actually signed on the dotted line and actually sold our culture to the same people that you're trying to fight against right now? Are you following what I'm saying, Brother Rich?
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the ones back in the day that took and seized the time and said, well, wait a minute. I could take advantage of this whole idea of sampling. I could sample our culture, put some new innovative artists over it, sign with a white record company and a white distribution company, repackage black culture to sell it back to black and white people on a global scale. But now that he's recognized that, he can honestly say, now, okay, I have to change that particular dynamic. So while asking the question, very, very critical question that he asked, why are we not benefiting from our own culture? And why are other people not investing in the black culture? Well, they are. They're investing in it through the P. Diddy Combs of the world, through the Jay-Z's of the world, through the Kylies of the world, through the Nicki Minaj's of the world, through the Beyonce's of the world, through the Kanye West's of the world, and the Rihanna's of the world. They're reinvesting into black culture through those individuals. And since those individuals are considered rich and borderline wealthy, that's the end of the game. That's the end game, Brother Rich. So we are looking for those people that become the buffer to the black culture via white interests to reinvest in the black culture. That's my take on it. Very interesting article. Very poignant kind of question that they asked Puffy, and very smart, ingenuous business answers that he gave. So much so when you read the article, you can extract and start to develop some business sense from it. But that's my take on it, Brother Rich. That's my take on it. And when I walked away from the article, I said, wow, here they are investing in the black culture, and you don't see that they're investing into black culture via those people that become the buffer to black culture.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. When I see things, I remember I seen a video, World Star Hip Hop. They had a video. This is probably 2 years ago, and it was a group of white women. I believe they were from Europe, and they started like twerking classes where, women will pay huge amounts of money to come to learn how to twerk. Now, these are regular work women, mothers, and et cetera, and they will pay all this money to come learn how to twerk. Now, my question to you, Griff, is that if a sister from the hood is twerking on the internet, pretty much it's not in her mind to start twerking classes. In fact, her elders would tell her, get your ass off the internet and stop shaking your ass. So when we see the white people see some good in what we see bad in, do you think that it's kind of, it kind of shows where our mind is at as far as business savvy? Where there's not one elder that would tell us to, and I think the same thing with hip hop when the young people started, you could correct me if I'm wrong, when they thought hip hop was going to go somewhere and the elders in the music industry was like, man, get that shit out of here. And I think some Jews actually seen the value, so the story goes from what I heard, actually seeing the value in what hip hop can become. So it seems as though this happens again and again and again, where the youth may come with an idea or come with a movement or come with something that, you know, our own people kind of look down on. Then other people in other cultures see the brilliance in it and they start making money off it. Then 10 years later, we wondering what happened. Could you comment on that? I don't know if I phrased it in the right.
No, you phrased it perfectly well, and you kept it in context. And I understand it. I understand it clearly and plainly because I talk about it. I used to talk about it in my lectures. The whole idea of black people not recognizing the value in our own self, not recognizing the fact that once hip hop came on the scene, they didn't look at hip hop as being a viable entity to make billions of dollars because they didn't look at it as something that was even valuable. They looked at young cats spinning on their heads. They looked at the ugly graffiti on the trains and the buildings. Don Cornelius dissed it on Soul Train. So we looked at it like it was nothing to even try to profit off of and even make money and cultivate. I think that was the term that we were looking for, to cultivate it. So in the book, The American Directory of Certified Uncle Toms, on page 236, as I often mention, they looked at it as though it's a passing fad, it's a trend, it'll fade away, and they would rather have artists do the crossover thing to appeal to white artists, while white artists were coming on the other side of the fence to appeal to black people and use and appropriate black culture. So until we start looking at twerking until we start looking at twerking like we did breakdancing, until we start looking at the valuable aspects of what we have in our own culture, other people will continue to come along, Brother Rich, and take aspects of our culture, look at it, and say, okay, I can profit off of that. Sometimes we turn around and say, well, that's a cultural appropriation. Well, hell, they're looking at it like, well, you didn't do anything with it. You understand what I'm saying? Young people are starving in the hood, looking for young black people like the Oprahs, like the people that do have money, like the Bob Johnsons, like the Jay-Z's of the world, like the Puppies of the world, to come along and use their money and cultivate an art form that we see value in, but they may not see value in it. Instead, Puppy will turn around and buy a painting for $21 million. Mayweather may buy a watch for $18 million.
I think that painting, that was from a black painter, right? That Puffy book?
Yeah, that was from a black painter. But you could have taken that $21, gave my man $1 million, took the other $20 million, and set up art classes at 20 different youth centers and cultural centers across the country to cultivate other black artists. You understand what I'm saying? I am sure he could have made a deal with that painter for that $21 million to serve hundreds of young up and coming artists. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it was a good or a bad deal, but I'm saying to you, this is what other people from outside of our culture look at. They'll say, well, I'm not going to give this one $21 million. I'm going to give him $1 million. I'll take the other $20 million and I'll cultivate some other black artists and get paintings just like that. We have to start looking at it to that degree, Brother Rich. Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to start looking at it as though this is a vast field of young artists that we need to cultivate. And that's just what it is. There are black people out here that sometimes when I go on YouTube, it's mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing to see what we come up with. And then to turn around and see some of us have the money to cultivate these artists, but nothing is done with it. We play it safe by doing the things that we see that always work. Young, pretty artists that has talent. Oh yeah, we'll invest in her. What's the sister name that did Booed Up? LMA? Yeah, we'll invest in that. What's the other sister that looks beautiful but never wanted to reveal her identity? I think she calls herself Her, H-E-R. You understand what I'm saying? We'll invest in that because it's already proven that that will sell. So what I'm saying is, until we start to look at artists and what artists bring to the table and be the first ones to jump on the bandwagon, so to speak, to see value in young black artists, all right, we'll forever see other people coming in outside the culture to make money. Now, look at it this way, Brother Rich. Other people know that we drink on Friday and Saturday night. And in terms of our culture, we always say if we don't get fucked up and drunk and high, we don't look at that as having a good time. Am I right or wrong? So who's now going to come in and sell us the liquor? So rather than them looking like the bad guy, they'll get a Ludacris or a Puffy or a Jay-Z or someone to come in and a Jeezy, a young Jeezy, to own their own liquor. But you got to get the liquor from them other people. Right? Right?
I'm not sure. Is that the case with
Puffy don't make his own liquor.
Right. Okay.
He get his liquor from someone else. He gets Ciroc from someone else. Jay-Z gets his liquor from someone else. Jeezy, Ludacris, and all of the rest of them get their liquor from someone else. Someone that seen that they need to come in and service a need and a want. So rather than them coming in and look like the bad guy, oh, I'm going to make all the black people drunk and make money off of them, what I'll do is come in and use the Jay-Z's and the Ludacris and the Puffies and the rest of them as a buffer to make me some money. That's how Jay-Z and the rest of them making their money right now. Of all of those negative things that are in the hood that we call part of our culture. And it's even in the songs, it's in the terminology. Oh, yo, Brother Rich, what did you do this weekend? I don't know, man. I got fucked up. Well, what did you do to get fucked up? Drinking, weed, partying, right?
So let me ask you, Professor Griff. So, if let's say I was able to produce my own alcohol, and I was able to grow my own marijuana, and I became the biggest distributor of spirits, as they call it, and marijuana in the black community, and this is legally. So now I'm a billionaire legally from selling my people alcohol and marijuana. The majority of our people will see something wrong with that. So if we're talking about competing in business and ownership, even if I was able to do it legally, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm just trying to see where we're at mentally as a people.
Right.
If I'm able to do that legally and I own 100% of it, nobody can say a white man or this man or that man controls this. My people will still say, yeah, you poisoning the community. But if we don't own it, we're still complaining and saying they own it. So doesn't it seem like a lose-lose situation if Puffy doesn't control the alcohol, you know, saying he's selling it for somebody else, but if somebody owned all of it, our people will still get criticized for selling our people alcohol and marijuana. So in a situation like that, Professor Griff, is it with business sometimes, is it a lose-lose situation?
No, it's actually a win-win situation, simply because alcohol and marijuana are not the only things that we use for negative reasons. They have medicinal purposes. We use alcohol in certain Yoruba rituals and other rituals that we perform coming out of Haiti, coming out of, which is the voodoo, coming out of Africa, which is some of the other rituals and traditions that we have. We may not be familiar with them, but we use marijuana for medicinal purposes. But I'm saying to you, Puffy and the rest of them, even if they did control the growing, the creating, the growing, the distribution of marijuana and alcohol, there's a certain responsibility and duty that comes along with that, Brother Rich. Black people ran and controlled BET. There was a certain duty and responsibility that came with that poison that they was feeding the people for years. Am I right or wrong? This is why we picketed and we marched and we stood out in front of their house, because we were boycotting them. There's a certain duty and responsibility that I have to my own people if I'm going to sell what I'm selling on BET. If I'm going to sell what I'm selling on Underground Railroad or Serious Minds. If I'm selling what I'm selling via these particular platforms that black people respect and own. So are you responsible for what comes across your platform?
Yes.
Same thing, Brother Rich. You're not going to put negative things on your platform because you know you, to a degree, you're held responsible. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Not only to the people, but to your family, your queen, your ancestors, and your God. Am I right or wrong?
Indeed.
All right, let's understand that to that degree, right across the board. If I went into business to sell Ashe water. I had to sit down with that brother for weeks, and he had to tell me where he was getting the damn water from in order for me to put my name on it. You understand what I'm saying? I can't sell the people death, but because I might end up being a millionaire selling water, I say, well, hey, I came up and I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. If I can do it, you can do it. I can't take that kind of attitude. I'm responsible to the people. I'm responsible to the people that what comes across Serious Minds. Even when I went over to World Star, I had to have conversation with them and say, listen, y'all know what kind of person I am. You know what I've been doing on Brother Rich's show all these years. You know what I've been doing on my show. So I can't sell people death. I can't do the naked chicks and the hood fights, and nope. I got to be able to balance that stuff out and do something positive. They said, okay. Even with what you and I talk about on here, I got to be held responsible for it. It's about collective networking with one another. It's about taking charge. It's about ownership. It's about responsibility. And this is what I respect about what Puffy said in the Variety article. I can respect that. Along with the business techniques that he subtly kind of put out there for us to use to come up. What he did to come up, I can't necessarily respect that because I can't throw a shine under the bus. I can't throw a locks under the bus. I can't do that. And that's just my personal thing. Some other people may look at it different. I'm not trying to take shots at Puffy. We all know the history and the story of Bad Boy. That's for somebody else to tell. But I'm saying I need to take a certain kind of duty and responsibility and ownership on what I feed the people.
Professor Griff, on Nas' latest album, one of the things he said is that inclusion is a hell of a drug. Do you think what our people, when we're talking about black ownership and black executives and building, and later on in the article he talked about Black Wall Street. But do you think inclusion is more important to our people than actual wealth and actual ownership?
No, and ownership is the main thing. Once we own it, then we can. If I set up a restaurant and I sold this thing that we reluctantly call soul food, right? Which you and I know soul food is not necessarily healthy for us, right or wrong? Okay, we're not going to argue that point. We'll be here all night. If I set up a soul food restaurant, well, Sylvia's, if I own that, right? A, I have a duty and responsibility to the people. B, will I allow white people to come get some soul food if they came up to Harlem? You goddamn right. I would include them on that level. If they wanted to buy into my restaurant, of course I would. I would let them buy in. I'd have Sylvia's all across the country. I would have a clause in there, though, that we have to have certain amount of black people in management. We have to have a certain amount of black people on every level of the restaurant. Cooks, servers, the suppliers, distributors, owners, managers. You follow what I'm saying? It's just that the business model is jacked up. We include them and we let them come take over the restaurant. Now, who could better sell soul food to black people better than black people? Black people, right or wrong? We let other people come in and sell soul food back to us. Then they get the recipe, they marginalize it, there's no more soul in it. They move us out of management, they move us out of ownership, and then they take it over. And by the time we end up going to Sylvia's, which is a soul food restaurant in Minnesota, it's not even black no more. Are you digging what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, we need to stay in a certain percentage of management. We need to have certain percentage of ownership. We need to have certain percentage of who's in the kitchen, who's on the floor, and that's the only way we can have this whole idea of inclusion. Sylvia's restaurant in white ass what's that place in Dix Hills on Long Island? Don't no black people live out there. Alpharetta, certain places in Atlanta. Don't know Morningside. Don't know black people live there. So we're going to set up a black soul food restaurant there? Of course white people are going to come. They always come to everything that we set up. Are we going to include them? Of course we are. Are we going to keep certain percentage of it? We have to, if we're going to keep it black and keep it soulful. Are we going to have a red, black, and green flag out front with a black fist? Probably not. We don't want to scare them off. We want to include them. We want to include them this time, Brother Rich, on our terms.
You know, one of the things Diddy said in the article was that I didn't even realize it. I don't pay attention much to the music industry per se, but he said there's no black CEO of a major record company. Now I don't know how many major record companies are still around, but just like you just said, you know, who better to sell soul food to black people? Black people, because they know the ingredients, they know what we like. In my mind, I'm saying, who better to be a CEO of a major record company that's selling black culture? A black CEO, because they know exactly what black culture entails. They know about the black youth. They know about, trends. They know about fashion, all this stuff. So why, if you could figure it out, Griffin, you could say, I've got a soul food restaurant. I'm selling to black people. I should have a black chef that knows how to sell this because this is black, so-called black food. Why won't the CEOs, if they want to make huge amounts of money and sell huge amount of records, wouldn't putting a black CEO at the top of that be the smartest thing to do, because they pretty much know the most, or supposed to know the most about the culture, Professor Griff?
Yeah, but I think what I would do is have somebody out in the field going to find that black talent. Now it's easier because Ella May, she put her stuff up on YouTube and she was quote unquote discovered. Now she's at the top of the charts. I love the song Booed Up. You understand what I'm saying? Because I get booed up. What the hell? I'm just saying.
I hear that.
Right, but I'm saying, She took a chance of putting us stuff on YouTube. Someone found her on YouTube and contacted her, and it was on from that point. Whether he took it to a record company that was white owned or black owned, nonetheless, she got put on. I am saying to you, it'll be better if I was out in the field to discover that discoverable black talent. I wouldn't necessarily take that black talent to a white label. If there was a label that was run by black people and it was ran right, all right, and I know I could do business with that black label, I would rather do business with that black label because black people know how to cultivate black talent, i.e. Motown, i.e. Stax, i.e. Philly International. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily saying that they're the only ones that know. I'm saying, but we've had success in the past. So, yeah, I would do that. Are there labels around now that are major labels that are owned and run by black people? No, they're not. They're just not. Are we getting a fair shake with the Pandoras and the Spotifys and these entities? Probably not. You're getting less than a couple of cents for every stream or every download. So it's not fair. You understand what I'm saying? They still have the upper hand. Unless you're getting on tours, unless you're getting endorsement deals, unless you contemplating on signing a 360 deal, you're not really making a lot of money with any of these labels. Unless you know how to have someone to know how to work social media and move you in position where you're playing the numbers game, because that's the game you and I playing. That's the game we play every week. How many views did this thing get for somebody to advertise on your show? How many subscribers did Brother Rich and Professor Griff have before I advertise with them? It's the numbers game, and you know that well, Brother Rich, right or wrong. So it's the numbers game. Are black people set up to play the numbers game? There's not one company that I know, and I've been putting this out for years. Trust me, Brother Rich, and listen to what I'm about to say. Where's that black company that's calculating all the numbers across the board, that's working all of your social media that can get you ads, Brother Rich? There's no such black company, and I've been putting that out for years. I want to find a black company that's set up to handle all of Professor Griff's social media, where I don't have to do that, putting up a damn flyer and go checking Instagram 3 times a day, checking Twitter, checking Facebook, see how my YouTube numbers are doing. Where's that black company? As much as we're on social media, where's the black company to do the numbers that could connect the people that need the ads to the people like you and I that have the platform to service the ad? There's no company like that. I don't know of one. How many times you got to go up on social media to see what your numbers are doing, Brother Rich?
Yeah, you gotta get a lot.
Half the damn day. Are you following what I'm saying? Where's that company? I'm just putting that out there. I'm willing to work with somebody to work my social media. I'm willing to pay them. I'm willing to go have that same company go get me people that need the ads. There's entrepreneurs out here, Brother Rich, that need to put an ad up on this show that we're doing right now. How do they get in touch with us? How do we get in touch with them? How do we say to them, our show do millions of views? Because it's perpetual, right or wrong. Once we put the flyer up, and then somebody will take the show and put it on their platform. Somebody else will take it. It's forever. People from all over the world will watch this show that we're doing right now. Who wouldn't want to put an ad up because you know it's going to be seen, and you know we're going to talk about it. But come on, man, we're going to get the numbers. It's a numbers game, Brother Rich. And people know that. And right now, let me tell you something, Brother Rich, and this is sad. That cat video that went out and got 950 million views. What's that? What that white woman's name that did hello, Adele. Adele had fucking 90 million, 100 million views. Damn. Childish Gambino had 300 million views. Who wouldn't want to put an ad up on there? That platform.
Right.
Or at the or commercial, a video commercial at the end of that platform. It's a no-brainer, Brother Rich. It's a no-brainer. But we don't have those companies that are set up. Are white people looking at that right now? Do they have algorithms right now that can track this video to see what kind of numbers it do overseas? The sad part about this, Brother Rich, is somebody will snatch this video off of YouTube, put it on their channel, and they monetize their channel. They get all the views and hits. And they'll eat off of you and I, Brother Rich. Tell me I'm lying.
Yeah.
They'll eat off of you and I. That's just the numbers game and how it's played with social media.
What do you think? Do you think Black Panther? Will we see more? I think it was the third highest gross. If it's a numbers game, because you're talking about a numbers game, so let's talk some numbers. I think it was the third highest grossing movie of all time. Hit the $1 billion mark. All black cast, black director, black guy produced the soundtrack. If it's a numbers game, will this result in more black blockbuster movies with black cast and black directors and whatnot, Professor Griff?
I'm not being racist, which I can't be because I don't run shit. I'm not being prejudiced. And I'm laying this out before I make this next statement. I'm not being overly anti-white or black or Jewish or Mexican or whatever. I'm not being homophobic. I'm not being any of those things. I'm going to answer that question very truthfully. Right now, there are white Jewish people with money that's in position that at these movie lots that are looking for the next director that can pull together a cast, and they're looking for that next script. They'd be foolish not to. Ask some of your white Jewish friends. They'd be foolish not to. Who's that next hot producer? Who's that next hot director? What's that next hot script? You understand what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Who's that? What's that? I mean, I had inside scoop that soon as Black Panther hit the 200 or 300 million dollar mark, white people started looking for comic book scripts because I was one of them. They came looking for my comic book. Come on, Brother Rich. I don't know if you're one of the ones that got that email or that text message. I contacted everybody I know that had a comic book. And I said, yo, I got the scoop. Cats in Hollywood are looking for, because if you got a comic book, storyboard already done, right? Script already written, right? Come on, talk to me. Characters are already there, right or wrong?
Indeed.
So that's what they're looking for. So right now, it's a trend in Hollywood for them to get the pseudo hip black guy that has connections, that's in the hood, that know that fresh new talent, that got a fresh script, pseudo about, for example, I went to the movies the other night. My wife wanted to see something, and I said, okay. Boots Riley from The Coup. What's the movie that he put out, man? Black movie.
I forget the name.
Oh, come on. How could we do that, man? A better something. Come on, we can't even do that to the brother. Hold on. No, I'm sorry. I can't even do that. I got to look it up right now. I'm on my phone right now. Look it up. Boots Riley. Hold on. Boots Riley. Boots Riley directed Boots Riley. It's a very good movie, man. Very sorry to bother you. Directed by Boots Riley of The Coup. Beautiful film. Go see the film.
Yeah, keep hearing about it.
I think it's moving up the charts, man. You understand what I'm saying? directed by a rapper, a MC from the hip hop community. See, that's what they're looking for, Brother Rich. That could easily be Mos Def. Come on. That could easily be, what's the brother's name from the Black Eyed Peas?
Will.i.am.
Will.i.am. That could easily be Kanye. These cats got that insight, and that could easily be Andre 3000. Am I right or wrong? Could easily be CeeLo. As many things have I done, could easily be a Professor Griff. It could easily be, what's the sister's name? Missy Elliott. Can easily be a Lauryn Hill. So they're looking for that kind of talent, man. But what Puffy said is true. Will they discover that, quote unquote, do business with that black talent and put up the $2 million needed, like Dame Dash put up and gave to your man, Lee Daniels? It's gonna take, look, Brother Rich, let's be real. The Oculus is sitting still right now because I need $50,000 to produce the film. Would a black director come in, would a black entrepreneur come in and say, Griff, oh, that's all you need is 50 stacks? Here you go, let's go. I'm gonna need 80 back from you. Got you. Will they come in and finance a Professor Griff film? They may not. Will the white Jewish company come in to finance a Professor Griff film? They may. They may see value in it. I'm open. I'm not gonna turn it down. It's left to be seen, Brother Rich. I'm willing to do business with businessmen. I don't care what your complexion is. If you're asking me to sell my soul for a few dollars, go look somewhere else. It's not gonna happen with with Professor Griff. Nah. So the Oculus is sitting still. Shout out to all of those people that donated to the Oculus GoFundMe. But what am I gonna do with $1,800? I can't make a film with $1,800. I need $50,000 to make the film. Right now, I need $46,000 to make the film.
Do you think that's the point Kanye was? Because did he mention Kanye and mention about Adidas investing in Kanye? And I remember when Kanye was, when he was complaining and they was telling him, why don't you just start your own sneaker line? And he was saying he didn't have the capital and he needed somebody to do the distribution for him. So can you relate to Kanye with what he was talking about and why he made with the move with Adidas, being that you're in the situation you're in with your film Oculus? Can you see why some black people were signed to Adidas or Nike or certain companies like that?
Well, I'm going to be very transparent and very open, and maybe some people are going to diss me for it or come at me for it. Black people are putting me in the position where I got to go across the railroad tracks to get the film made. I have no other choice. I don't have $46,000 to make the film. There's a couple of them other people that's like, look, we'll make it for you. This is what we're gonna need. Sign right here. What am I to do? If I'm gonna get the film made, I gotta go across the tracks and make that deal with them other people. Will people come at me for it? Probably so. Will they say I'm a sellout? Probably so. Will they say, no, they probably will. Either do that or the Oculus doesn't come out. I put it out there that I'm making a film. I'm putting out there I need $48,000. No one black has stepped up to the plate. Other people that don't look like us said, okay, yeah, we can get that done. I may not have 46, I got 35. Can you do it? I said, well, I got a guy from Lion Imagery that will work with me to get this done. He'll travel, he'll eat fast food. He'll work with me to get it done. I'm bringing my own video guy with me. You understand what I'm saying? I gotta hire my son to do sight and lights and sound. Can I pull it off and get it done? Yeah. I got people on standby right now. The Ashwa Quasis and the Phil Valentines and Anthony Browders and those people that know this subject. You understand what I'm saying? That's willing to participate in the film. I even got some researchers that found the people that cracked the code for the Oculus. But all of them on standby because I got to pay them something. I need a camera crew. I need some other, my sound guy from Lion Imagery, he gave me a production list of equipment that we might need. What was that? 5 stacks we need? $10,000 just for equipment. So this is real, man. This is real. So we're looking for an investor right now. We can't give them 50%. We can't give them no more than 30. Because if we give them more than 50, they're going to own the film, and we can't do that. We have to be able to own it. So that's the numbers game. That's the reality of what it is. So Kanye West was absolutely correct on the level that he wanted to put out his sneaker line. He probably got to sign with Adidas or someone. In order for me to put that film out, I got to talk to them other people. Some of them have often said to me they still playing that black, white, other game with me, and I'm not. It's like, come on, man, that's tired and old. It's tired and old, man. I got a comic book done. I'm working on comic book number 2, which can easily be a short film. So rather than putting a comic book out, why can't I put a comic book out and a short out at the same time?
Right.
So I'm in a position to do that. I need the capital to do it.
Indeed, man. Well, I definitely I want you to give the people. I appreciate you coming on the show once again, man. I want you to give the people the link to everything you got going on for those that may be able to assist you, help you, that they can reach out to you in whatever way that they can, Professor Griff. So please leave your necessary information for the people out there listening, my brother.
I just want to say to you, man, thank you very much, man, for continuing this work with me on your platform, man. And it's when I looked at the subject matter, I'm like, okay, Brother Rich trying to do the damn thing. I just want to say thank you for challenging me, man, because people just think I talk about the Illuminati. Nah. There's a lot more depth to Professor Griff than just that. But people can reach me at www.professorgriff.me. That's my website. They can email me at www.seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. They can call me 678-557-2919. That's 678-557-2919. They can donate on my website. Just hit the donate button at professorgriff.me or go right to PayPal, www.paypal.me/Professor Griff Corporation. All right? There's too many ways to get at me, man, to do business with me or to just contact me. They can text me, 678-557-2919. All right? So there's, and I'm willing to do business on any level, man. You understand what I'm saying? From the entrepreneur that just want to put a flyer up, or if they want to put a minute film, a minute commercial together to put at the end of this talk, I'm willing to do that on my platform. All right? So they can get at me, man. Let's do business, man. And I'm proud to see our people, Brother Rich, across this spectrum, this virtual spectrum. And they doing some big business, man. You know how many people are doing the news right now, Brother Rich? They got YouTube channels that are doing the damn thing. I love it, man. I love it. I love it.
Real. Once again, family, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is Brother Rich with Professor Griff back in the building once again. We signing out, family. We're going to see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Greetings, this is Professor Griff of Public Enemy. Welcome to the Oculus Inc. The Oculus, they are the ultra secret society. They are the ones that manipulate and control your perception. They're actually the gatekeepers of your perception. The oculists are the ones that actually write the prescription. They are the ones to determine who and why you're seeing what you're actually seeing through signs and symbols. These signs and symbols, we see them every single day. Your banks, your fast food stores, energy companies, gas stations, car companies, sports teams, all of them have signs and symbols that they use in such a way where they speak a language to one another. These are the things that the oculist controls. The Oculus Inc.
They gon' need the cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will still Chamberlain. Even Damien and Satan is afraid of it.
And they was talking all that hot ish. When the prophets ain't apostles, here the gospel is the gossip. I'm a science project, try and pocket this rhyming process. Watch us, information, going through lines. Fiber optics, this is Miley Cyrus in her freak phase. The naked truth, don't be Ray Caruth in a trunk pump. Just take the truth, shit. Daisy Dukes at a night show. I raid your room.